Thank you very much for joining us here at Professor Herman Manyora's channel. My name is Simon Irungu, kicking in with the big question for today. We're going to be talking about the top 10 manifesto from Raila, all right? Yes. I'm going to be going through them one by one, all right? Just to enlighten you so that
the 10-point agenda.
Yeah, so that you get familiar with what we're going to be talking about,
yes.
All right? From the top, we have the Inua Jamii hashtag Pesa Mfukoni program, meant to give 6,000 monthly to over 2 million families.
Yes.
All right. Number 2, we have Baba Care. Number 3, we have Kazi kwa wote, uchumi kwa kina mama, hashtag inawezekana, waste not a single child, fukuza njaa, maji kwa kila boma, one county, one product. Alafu finally we have the administrative continuity.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
From the top, we're going to be looking at the Inua Jamii hashtag Pesa Mfukoni program. What do you think of this program?
It's a good idea. It works in other places.
Okay.
The best example, of course, is Brazil, the most successful. There is stipend or support in America, UK, in one form or the other.
Okay.
But this kind, you can get it in Brazil as the best example. In this country, we already have something similar.
Okay.
Stipend to elderly people. There's 2,000 or so shillings to people, senior citizens.
Okay.
So it's already there. It's a good idea, because they say a society is as good as its weakest.
Okay.
If you do not take care of the weak in society, then you cannot say you are strong. You cannot say you are successful if there are people who go to bed hungry and die from hunger. So it's a good idea. The only problem, challenges are how do you implement it? How do you identify the people?
Okay, let me hold you on that. But on this, aren't we building a nation aren't we building a culture of dependency?
You see, I've told you it works elsewhere. And the principle is simple. It is based on the philosophy that in society they are the vulnerable. There are those who for some reason are not able to take care of themselves.
Okay.
For example, you are able-bodied, you are trained, but you are out of a job. For the period you are out of a job, you may need support. You are elderly, not able to work, sickly, and elderly perhaps. Okay. You need support from society. Maybe you are a senior citizen who has given your all to the country during your youth. The country should be able to take care of you at your hour of need.
Okay.
So it's like students, we are saying, not every student who has passed an exam to join university is capable of paying fees. And there must be an arrangement where we offer bursaries and scholarships and loans. And it happens. Support to those who are needy. That is the principle.
Okay, from this, aren't we able to see maybe something like inflation kicking into the country?
Inflation?
Yeah.
Because of, I don't understand
Because
how.
Inflation, because now everyone has money. Like a good example is during Christmas, everything is hiked. No. Prices of everything is hiked because everyone has money.
But people have money all the time. It's a question of saying, why should we limit having money to only those who are working and or are doing business or have farms or are farmers? Can we have other categories join them to also have money in their pocket?
Okay.
We can't say we must always have a percentage of people without money. Because to have them have money is to mean everybody has money, and therefore to kick in inflation. And that would be bad thinking.
Okay, now let's move on to the second point. This is Baba Care. It has been compared with UHC, the Universal Health Care Program that was launched by Uhuru, which was viewed as a flop. It failed. What do you think of the Baba Care? I
have said there are two ways of looking at it. I've said many times. One way is looking at it in the normal way of looking at things, ordinary. And if you look at it in an ordinary way, then you look at NHIF should be strengthened. The weaknesses should be addressed. The challenges should be met. Universal health care as an idea is a good idea. It should be implemented well. Where it has failed, efforts must be made to address the failures and so on and so forth. That is one way of looking at it. If you looked at it that way, then you will not fail to see that there is some success. But there's another way, the Manyora way of looking at it.
Okay, which is the Manyora way?
Which is very radical. I've always argued NHIF is a fraud. UHS is just another elephant you are chasing somewhere, and you will not get it.
Okay.
The Manyora way is It's very simple. Stop doing business with the health of Kenyans. That's what I would tell Raila.
Okay.
Stop doing business with the health of Kenyans. We have sufficient government hospitals without even constructing one more. We have enough to serve us even for 50 years from now. Without adding one more hospital, we have almost enough to, we can improve what we have in terms of infrastructure here and there. But equip those hospitals. Train health personnel, health staff, doctors, nurses, clinical officers, technicians, also train them, pay them well, take care of their welfare. Then let Kenyans walk into these health facilities to get free, underline the word free, F-R-E-E in capital letters, bold, free health care, quality. That's what we need.
But
anything else, forget.
As a country right now, can we get to that point where medication is free for Kenyans?
We already have, we are spending more money than we need for what I'm saying.
Okay.
Look at the least equipment, 63 billion. Look at things, look at KEMSA. How much money is lost through KEMSA? We already have, without adding a single shilling, without a single dollar from the exchequer, what we are already spending on in the health sector, without a single dime, or whatever we call it, or a dollar or a shilling, without one extra, what we have will supply quality, free quality health care, and our doctors and nurses will be paid well, without adding. But we must add. And this country can add that money. All we need to do is check on theft, which we have admitted. Government has admitted, not once, not twice, not from just ministers, from as high as the president, that we waste about 2 billion shillings every day. Wow. You don't need half of that to offer free quality healthcare. You don't even need a quarter of that to add on top of what we have. So yes, we can do it.
Okay. Coming in at number 3, we have the Kazi Kwa. What do you think that really Raila can solve the issue of unemployment in Kenya with that Kazi Kwa wote?
I want to tell you this. Kenya would need to import labor.
Okay.
Yes. We don't have enough labor in this country. So let's stop there. We don't have enough labor.
What do you mean? We need to import labor?
Once we activate the economy, we have an economy running. Once we exploit the resources we have, once we enable people to do business, once we remove the bottlenecks, such a stupid thing as excessive cost of electricity, transport, and business picks up, once government begins to run efficiently to offer services they need to offer, government alone will employ 1 million people extra or more.
Okay.
I have given an example of KRA. KRA can employ instantly 200,000 and add another 200,000 every year.
Okay.
Just people to train Juakali people. How to run business, how to keep books, how to do banking, and ultimately, how to pay taxes, reasonable taxes. We can employ people if we activate this economy and make government functional, that we will need labor from outside. Look at the blue economy. We've not touched it. Look at mining. We've not done anything with what God has given us.
Okay.
If you go in that, look at farming. We are farming like the 16th century. If you went in the 21st farming, agriculture of the 21st century, agriculture has the potential to employ millions of people in this country.
Okay.
Through good husbandry, modern husbandry, scientific farming, through value addition, value chains, that alone will employ millions of people. So this country can import labor. We don't have sufficient people.
Okay, I want you to join that point with the Uchumi kwa Kina Mama, which is meant to empower business, women businesses in the country. It is also among the top 10 agendas.
I believe that segmenting society doesn't have power. Let's just improve the environment. And people just do. Because the obstacles women used to face, like even opening an account, as a woman, it was a problem sometimes back. You couldn't do it. You need someone to hold your hand, like getting a passport, getting out of the country. So since all these have been removed, access to education, I don't like segmenting things. But of course, when you have a segment of society that has been disadvantaged for years, you may need some kind of affirmative action. Okay. So yes, it's good, to empower women. And why I want it to come from, why it may be good for that to come from government, it can be something women can enter in without bringing in the unintended consequences.
Okay.
Where many women who enter into business then disrupt their families. So if it is a well thought out idea that empowers women to do business while remaining mothers and wives, while remaining decent people, then I'll go for it. Sometimes even politics, just like business, it means women disrupt their families. So if they are supported to do decent business and they don't disrupt their families, because a country that does not put premium on family values is not a country.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Next we have the hashtag inawezekana, meant to support the skills of young people in the industries, to improve the skills, to educate them on how to run businesses. What do you think of that?
Yeah, in fact, I've been thinking what Raila would need to do, or Ruto for that matter,
Okay.
is to create a ministry. There used to be a department of community development. If I am President Ruto or President Raila Odinga, I will create ministry of community development. This ministry of community development will target mainly youth and give them the skills to do certain things and produce things that are required in the country, goods and services. Enable them, empower them, and above all, source markets for them.
All right. Let me hold you at that. From 2002, the youths have been complaining that no administration has been able to deliver its promises to them. How different do you think maybe Raila needs to approach this agenda?
Yeah, you see, the things that government has been doing usually has been like what Ruto is saying. Throw billions down there to people.
Okay.
And the government has thrown money.
Okay.
But it's not a well thought out program. If a program is not well thought out, money will be there. Kazi kwa vijana. Youth fund. They will all be there in billions of shillings. Industrialization fund. But because it's not a well thought out thing, it's not a well structured thing, it's populist, it's for politics, such as the bottom down things and 50 billion, 100 billion for Kazi, for Mama Mboga. You just throw down there and after 5 years you realize there's no impact. So inawezekana, if we focus on a well thought out program.
Okay. Yes. Hashtag waste not a child, for better education for the young children all across the country. What do you think about that?
Well, you can only dismiss some things. You see, Raila or Ruto have not told me what they think. Ruto has come out talking about CBC, and I love that. We have to think this CBC thing. I don't think Raila is going in that direction.
Personally, what do you think about the CBC?
It's a waste of time.
Okay.
It's the worst thing that has happened to this country.
How?
This country has many problems in education. I don't know why you come up with CBC when there are bigger problems that you need to address of access and quality.
Do you think
the problem of education is access and quality.
Do you think maybe it was a big step from the government?
No, it's a joke. These are things that come from outside. Experimental things. People want to do business with us, and that is really bad. Right. So I'll support a presidential candidate who thinks in the direction of rethinking CBC.
All right. At number 7, we have the Fukuzanja. It's so shameful that in the 21st century, people in Kenya are still dying of hunger. People are still complaining about hunger.
No man was ever a man if there was no man in his home in the traditional society.
Okay.
Only a man who could feed his family was a man. The rest were just useless people. So a country begging for food is really bad.
Okay.
It's extremely bad.
So
we need to go into agriculture, value addition, mechanized agriculture, but do things we can. Let us not do some of the things Kina Uhuru and Ruto are doing, Gulana Kulalo, trying to irrigate maize.
Okay.
For a country like this, we'll go into irrigation for horticulture.
Okay, I want you to join that point with the Magic Kila Boma agenda.
We were told water for all by the year 1980. This 41, 42 years later, it has not worked. I hope it won't work like that. Because this country is not water deficient. We have enough water. It's just wanting to give people water.
Okay.
You don't need more than that. You just need to want that I am the president and I'm saying in 3 years everybody must have water. Because water is there.
Okay.
The resources are there. It does not take a lot of money. It is just the will from the president. Say, I will not be president in a country where people don't have water. 3 years if they don't have water, let me go home. If I'm Raila, I'll go to Bondo.
All right.
If I'm Ruto, I'll go to Surugoi.
That's what Ruto said.
Yeah.
He just needs 5
Yes,
years.
yes, it's
Within
something
the
you
5
just
years,
say.
if he
You
has not
just
even...
say like, let there be water in every home, and there's water.
Okay.
Because we are not a water deficient country, and the resources required to pump water into people's homes is not anything. If you gave the Minister of Water 100 billion per year, in 3 years everybody will have water. Everybody. So what is the problem?
Okay.
What is the 100 billion in our budget? It's nothing. I'm just speaking on top of my head. Let nobody try and criticize me. Oh, 100 billion. I'm just saying on top of my head.
Right.
It's not a lot of money required.
One county, one product to speed
Well,
up devolution. What do you think about that?
You see, in other countries, if you go in Australia, New Zealand, you'll find almost every region has something it specializes in, using comparative advantage, so that you are not trying to do everything everybody else is doing. We say, okay, since industrialization is a good day, how can you support a bigger county to do a certain thing? That's a good idea.
Are we able to see maybe in the near future a country where all across the counties that there is equal development?
It can never be equal. It's difficult.
Okay.
There can be equity, but not equality, because we are endowed differently. You see, Narok County may do nothing other than depend on the Masai Mara, and they can survive on it. You see, we want Taita Taveta to benefit from the Zavo National Park, and they can survive on it, and they have a lot of minerals. Okay. Vihiga has nothing, but doesn't mean because we don't have minerals, we don't have national park, we don't have anything for tourism perhaps, doesn't mean there's nothing we can do. It requires thinking and say, Vihiga is the most densely populated county in the country. How do you turn the population into an advantage as opposed to a burden?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And lastly, we have the administrative continuity. This is an agenda meant to look at the other administration development and continue with them, or maybe even do better than them. What do you think of that?
Yeah, because unless you are coming in with a revolution,
okay,
if you are just coming in through a democratic election, my friend, you can't talk the way Ruto is saying they want to disrupt everything. Okay. They want to hijack Uhuru's budget. No, you build on what they have. You do better. So I will agree with Raila that you need to build on what there is. You need to appreciate what others have done. Where they have done wrong, you correct. Where they have failed, you improve. Where they have done well, you build on that and continue. Continuity is better than saying, me, I'm coming in now, I'm so and so, mimi ndio yeye. Okay. Mimi ndio mwanasema yule mse. No, that's not correct. I agree with continuity. There have been people in power. They may not have done as well as you want, but you cannot rubbish them and say you are coming in with a new budget even before they leave. So that's a good idea. Okay, now as we finalize, the question comes in. Is this the best that we can get from Raila in terms of presidential manifesto? You know, this is addressing the thinking voter. Okay. And it's a good way of doing it. You are showing the thinking voter, even as we dance on platforms, reggae and Leo and what have you, we also have ideas. Yeah. We also have a structured approach to the running of this government when we take over. It's important. As you play politics outside, dancing on the podium, we also have something you can look at, a blueprint of sorts. It's quite important. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us here at Professor Herman Manyora. That has been the conversation on the top 10 manifesto from Raila Odinga. Well, that was the view from the professor himself. Well, thank you very much for joining us. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so.